Hi, everyone. I'm Kara Sundlun alongside Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon. We're coming to you with some developing news because we really want to give you the first alert. I know that many of you are still recovering from yesterday morning's icy commute, but we do have to give a first alert that we might have a troublesome commute again.
Yes, tomorrow morning not looking ideal, perhaps not as bad as yesterday, Wednesday morning, as we compare the two. And right now, of course, it is just liquid precip that is falling across Connecticut, and even the coverage and the intensity is not what it once was. So we're going to hit a bit of a lull, and then the rain ramps back up. And what we're going to be watching for later tonight is for temperatures to start dropping closer to freezing, and therefore will be a concern for the freezing rain, perhaps some sleet as well. So just let's rewind to Tuesday.
Yeah, in fact, I've got some video to show people when you talk about it, but it was pretty nasty on Tuesday.
So Tuesday into Tuesday night, we had temperatures inland that were in the 25 to 30 degree range, and that's basically where they hung out. And then eventually, I remember in our 11 o'clock news on Tuesday night, we were up to around 30, 32, which then, as we made our way in, what you're looking at here is the video from Wednesday morning. Obviously, things were not good. So
This is Southington, just if people are wondering, this is Southington. We saw a big backup because these, when you get ice, you have these jackknife tractor trailers.
Yes. So just for some perspective, right now across the state, and we'll show you this graphically in a minute, but we're in the 35 to 40 degree range. So the setup, the timing, a little bit different. So this always, it speaks to the fact that every weather situation is different. Right. So you can't say, well, what happened Tuesday night is going to happen again tonight. We can draw some comparisons. And yes, there is certainly a threat for icy conditions early tomorrow morning. But again, very kind of different from where we are now on Thursday compared to where we were on Tuesday going into Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning commute.
Yeah, so as we sit here, and if you're just hopping on the feed, we're coming on because we have a first alert weather day. I'm Kara Sundlun alongside our Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon. If you did have to drive on Wednesday morning, and that was a big controversy because some schools canceled, some schools didn't, some did early release. So I know it was a big headache for parents. Some wanted schools canceled, some didn't. This is why we're coming on to give you the first alert, is just plan, because you might need a plan B if there's delays or something.
Well, and again, for some historical perspective, it was Tuesday that schools were doing early dismissals because, again, how cold it already was. So we're not experiencing that today.
Right.
We've got temps above freezing, 35 to 40, and it's just plain rain.
Just plain rain.
Yeah, so it is
Fingers
tomorrow
crossed.
morning's commute that could be problematic. So if we can go to the graphics, we can kind of walk everyone through this first alert weather day. Again, we're concerned about tomorrow morning's commute, given the icy mix that develops later tonight into early tomorrow. And we're really focused on interior portions of the state. But regardless, certainly a wet start to our Friday. So slick conditions through the overnight hours into the morning commute time, and then we gradually improve by tomorrow midday. So provided that, again, winter weather advisories have been posted. They go into effect this evening. They run through early tomorrow morning for our northern four counties. So southern Connecticut along the shoreline, just damp conditions, not a notable threat for any sort of icing there. So what's happening right now across Connecticut? Well, if you saw Tyler Hughes at noon, he was tracking rain almost border to border. So the coverage has been decreasing, and it's just basically scattered areas of light rain right now. And you can see the progression here is from west to east. And because it's all shades of green, that represents rain that is falling across the state currently. And it is rain because those temperatures are so mild. So basically 35 to 40 across Connecticut. We have a couple 41s, Danbury, Norwich, Willimantic, Chester, the mildest at 43. So certainly above that critical 32 degree mark. So it is just going to be rain for the evening commute. And a little bit wider view here as we expand out, we're going to see a little bit of a lull, and then there's more wet weather moving through Ohio and Pennsylvania, western New York, that eventually heads in our direction. As that arrives later tonight, again, it's all about the temperature. Here's the hour-by-hour trend, slowly dropping. So this isn't a sharp drop-off, but some chillier air will be draining southward from, say, Vermont, New Hampshire, across Massachusetts, here into Connecticut. So as soon as we get temperatures close to 32, that's when we'll be more concerned, of course, with the rain freezing on contact, those untreated surfaces becoming slick. And that will really be the case across northwestern Connecticut, the quiet quiet corner of northeastern Connecticut for communities up along the Massachusetts border. So, and as we get closer to daybreak tomorrow, it's all going to be winding down. Can we drop the lower third? Is that okay?
Yeah, you want to drop it? Okay.
Just because it's covering up some of the
yeah. Let's see. We'll just
elements
get you
from
just
our graphic.
nothing right now, but we'll give it.
Perfect. There
You'll
we
give it.
go.
Oh, I see. So now we can see
Yes.
rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow. We got a little bit of everything. It looks like.
Yeah, so we're talking about the temperature, of course, and what we live here at the surface regarding, what it feels like to us every day. And you need to have temperatures below 32, below freezing from the cloud to the ground to get snow. That is not in the cards for us today.
Okay.
So we've got already mild air at the surface. So we're on the left-hand side of this graphic where what starts as snow falls into the mild air and it's rain. And that's what's reaching the surface. But what we're watching as we head from the evening into the overnight hours is for that shallow, cold air at the surface to move southward from, again, areas to our north. So that would, create the situation for some freezing rain. And the depth of that cold air means, okay, does the rain freeze on contact? Or if it has time to refreeze, which would be sleet, that column of air is a little bit deeper. So that's what we're going to be watching for with this icy mix as we head into later this evening and tonight. So currently, winds are locks 37 degrees, northeast wind at 6. So that wind direction signaling that some of that chillier air could eventually start working in our direction from Torrington. Again, it's rain. Visibility is not ideal.
Look at all our friends, the birds.
Look at that.
Are those
Just checking in, hanging out
those
with
the
us.
falcons?
I don't think those are falcons.
No, I don't
but
know.
I'm not. I'm not
It's
good
a
in this realm.
Jill question.
It is. Yes. It is a
I'm not
Jill.
sure, but they're spreading their wings. All I know is that stay tuned with us if you're just joining us. We're telling you the first alert, but there is some light in the end of the tunnel here when we get to next week.
Yeah. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But from Waterbury, also want to note what was once a snow-covered green, not so snow-covered anymore because temperatures are so mild, and of course that rain helps to exacerbate, helps to fasten quick, make that process happen quicker. So the erosion of snow continues. There's Middletown looking skyward, very gray, very wet. You can see the raindrops.
Gloomy, very gloomy.
Yeah, very gloomy. Kind of a raw day across Connecticut. So here's First Alert Futurecast, tracking what we just showed you on First Alert Live Radar, and that is scattered areas of light rain. As we get into 5, 6 o'clock this evening, another round of rain moves across Connecticut. Nothing different than what we've been dealing with already today. And then as we head toward 8 o'clock and points thereafter, you'll see the flip over to those pinks up near the Massachusetts border, northwestern Connecticut, the northeastern hill towns. So how far south that cold air goes will dictate how far south in Connecticut we'll be concerned about that freezing rain and sleet potential, that icy mix. So the rain ramps up as we head toward 11 o'clock, and then after midnight, it begins to wind down. But here's 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, those shades of pink still across northwest and northeastern Connecticut. So it's those areas of our state that are most prone to have that icy mix. And by, say, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's damp, but it's otherwise cloudy. We're starting to dry out. So for the morning commute tomorrow, from late tonight through early tomorrow morning, we're talking about a glaze, maybe a little bit more of ice there across northwest and northeastern Connecticut for communities up near the Massachusetts border. So visibility, not too bad right now. Got a couple more iCams in here, apparently. There's Hartford, there's New Haven again, really speaking to the erosion of the snow with those milder temperatures, close to 40 in New Haven with the rain that's been moving through. And from New London, 39 degrees with the south-southwest wind at 3. So our next big thing, after we get through tomorrow's First Alert Weather Day.
70, woohoo!
Near above 70 as we head into next week.
And
so,
sunny?
Yeah, and sunny. Yes.
No way.
Yeah, we're looking good. So
Oh
here's
my
our
gosh,
First Alert
we
7-day
deserve it.
forecast. So Saturday, we're back in the 40s, so that will feel nice.
And that's the St. Patrick's Day parade in Hartford. So if people are outside, that's not too bad.
Right. So parade steps off at 11. So if you're making your way into our capital city, temps will going from the 30s into the 40s. So you'll still need that jacket, maybe a layer of some sort, but at least it will be dry. But it's not going to be a bright Saturday.
But it won't be some. We've had some pretty horrendous parade
yes,
days.
we have. Yes,
So this is like going to be, at least 48 compared to what we've been used to. That's
not bad. And kind of, it's a weekend earlier than normal. So kind of rolling the dice with Mother Nature on that one. But
it's Sunday.
Yeah, we've got some showers possible Saturday night. After those move through, we should see increasing sunshine on Sunday. And just your reminder that daylight saving time occurs this weekend. It begins, so that means our weekend is 47 hours as opposed to 48 hours in length. So before going to bed Saturday night, you want to advance those clocks 1 hour. So at least we'll get daylight later in the day as we continue working our way toward the summer solstice.
Yes, you want to spring forward, which means we're going to lose some sleep. So definitely be careful. I know everyone warns everyone on Monday you can be a little groggy. So
But by
AAA
Monday-
warning us to kind of.
But by Monday, to put a little pep in your step,
Yeah.
it will be a bright Monday, and it's also going to be a mild Monday. We're talking about
gosh.
highs in the low and mid 60s, and the warming trend is not in there. Tuesday, 65 to 70, and we could be a little bit milder Wednesday. So we're looking over some of the latest data. Eventually, a frontal system will move in the middle to end of next week, so that will drop temperature. So we're going to see exactly where we peak between now and then. But just for some reference here, the last time we had a high temperature above 60 in the Hartford area was back in November.
Wow.
The last time we had a high over 70 was back on October 19th. So if we're able to get to 70 Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, it's pretty notable because it's been so long. And in fact, if we get to near 70 on Tuesday, then we're actually getting into record territory. So for the 10th of March, the record high is 72 for the Hartford area. So as of now, we could be within a couple degrees of that. And then
And that was
for
10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago, yep.
And that was also when we had, wasn't that also a lot of our snow records were about 10 years ago, too? So maybe we go both ends.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Snow and sun.
But yeah, overall, once we get past tonight and tomorrow morning, a pretty fine-looking 7-day forecast there for you. And again, that warmth from next week, it is March, things change. And they will. We've got another cold front that's going to move through. So certainly plan to enjoy Monday, Tuesday, because by Thursday and Friday, we're heading back kind of chillier levels. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question that you may or may not be able to answer, but everyone wants to know, like, okay, are we done yet? Are we done yet?
I think we all want to be done.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, March in general, I know sometimes we can get some snow, and we already got some, but as we head into the 70s, we might be thinking, oh my God, we made it, we're done. No, we can't say that.
We cannot say that.
Okay.
Our latest recorded snow for the Hartford area is in May. So
goodness.
But I will say the one good thing about any sort of wintry precipitation this time of year is that it won't last too long because we do typically trend milder. Because climatologically speaking, we're moving from the coldest part of winter, toward astronomical spring and summer. So like our normal highs are in the 40s now, as opposed to when we were in January, the normal high was 35 for 3 weeks. So we've certainly turned the corner on that. So again, if there's, we could certainly have snow March into May. I mean, we all want this to be behind
Yeah, we want it
us.
to be over. It seems like I don't know if it really was. It seems like it was a tough winter, but maybe statistically it was just kind of normal. I don't know.
Well, so I think that's it. We've had so many winters that have been lackluster.
Okay.
Like last year, we for the Hartford area had roughly 24 inches of snow. We, on average, get 51.7. That's the 30-year average.
Oh.
So this is the first year. And over first season, I should say, that we've made our way back just slightly above average. So this is,
So we're just average.
when it comes to snowfall, this has been an average winter season for
it
us.
just all came in like isolated events.
Well, the thing was, it arrived like, we'll say Winter Storm Benjamin was late January, and then that Arctic cold was here. So the snow fell and went nowhere. And then we had Benjamin come after that. So yeah, it's just like, it's one thing to warm up after a storm or for it to melt or whatever, but the snow just lingered because it was so cold for so long.
And now I know we're dealing with some there's a bunch of trucks in our neighborhood, I guess, for flooded basements. So check your sump pumps, check all that for all the melting. And and just in case people are hopping on now, I know we've had a lot of news alerts coming to your phone, but I'm here with meteorologist Mark Dixon. Really not right now. It's for tomorrow morning that you want to give everyone the first alert.
Yeah, because right now we're mild. We're 35 to 40, even a little bit milder than that in a few spots. But as temperatures trend a little bit colder tonight, as we get closer to freezing, that's when this rain that falls could freeze on contact, especially across interior portions of our state. So that's why we say interior mix inland, and this would have an impact on the morning commute tomorrow. So it's by this time tomorrow, it's just going to be cloudy and a chilly end to the week. But in advance of this, of course, we do have a winter weather advisory that is in effect for our northern 4 counties, and this is through early tomorrow morning. So, of course, Scott is going to be going on with our morning
4 a.m.,
team,
right?
half hour early. Yeah, so Eyewitness News will be starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow to bring you the very latest on whatever is coming from the sky or whatever has, accumulated across Connecticut.
Okay.
So
Just to give everyone the first alert, if you want to do something right now to prepare yourself tonight, we saw all those crashes. We had a lot of problems. It's probably a good idea maybe to salt the driveway and the walkways tonight before you go to bed, that things could freeze overnight if you're in certain areas.
especially in the Northwest and Northeastern hill towns. The farther inland you are in Connecticut, the probably a good idea to do that.
Okay.
Or to
Shoreline isn't really an issue, right?
No.
Okay.
But the problem this evening is before temperatures get cold enough, we may have enough rain that mixture, that salt may get washed away.
Be
So
very
what you
careful
may
walking
want
out your door.
to do is get up a little extra early, maybe do some salting tomorrow morning,
Okay.
or just plan some extra time and be super cautious because you don't want to waste that, of course, with the rain that's going to be coming down this evening.
Yeah. So if you missed it though earlier, I'm just going to move past this. We're all going to be okay, and I'm very excited that we are going to have 70s next week. So, but this is the traffic right now. Just giving everyone a look outside, and as you said, we don't have any problems. The roads look a little wet, but everything should be fine right now for your afternoon and evening commute.
Absolutely, yeah. No concerns for the evening commute. Just other than wet roads, there's not a concern for icing. It's tomorrow morning's commute that could be a little treacherous, especially across the hills of Northwest and Northeast Connecticut.
Okay. So the only question, and you can answer on my Facebook page, is are you excited about the 70s and what will you do? I feel like it's like a beach day.
Will people be calling out of work?
Yeah.
And
I know for a lot of kids in Connecticut, their spring break is coming up. I think most kids are not next week; it's the week after. Some of the college students and whatnot. So, hey, if you do have some days off next week, or you're looking for some PTO, it sounds like Monday, Tuesday would be good PTO
Those
days.
are the 2 days, yes, very nice. And the way that the snow has been melting with the rain, and this has been kind of a gradual process because temperatures have been turning a little bit milder, and we've had some ups and downs, but it's kind of our mud season, but at least we don't have flooding concerns.
Yeah.
At least not yet from
Not
any
yet.
sort of like.
I still have so much snow around my house,
Right.
so I guess just making
So
sure that we
slow
get that.
and gradual is the way to go when it comes to snow melt. Not only here in Connecticut, but also what happens, farther north, because the snow, say Vermont, New Hampshire, flows into the tributaries like the Connecticut River, and then that eventually could go above flood stage. So we're going to be monitoring that. That's a typical thing that happens in the spring in Connecticut.
Yeah, so coming up here on WFSB Plus, we are going to have our special warm-up sports show. That's at 2:30. Then Great Day's coming on at 3. It's a really super fun show, and I know you guys will have they'll have another weather update during our 3 o'clock hour on Great Day Connecticut. And then coming up at 4, of course, we'll have all the breaking news. Just word that President Trump has decided to reassign Kristi Noem of DHS. So that's breaking news right now. She's no longer going to be in charge of immigration after the president was not pleased with her talking and her testimony. So we'll have that coming up. But in the meantime, we're just giving everyone the first alert for tomorrow morning.
So if we can go back, we can show you the radar as far as what's happening currently across the state.
Yeah.
And that is. It's just scattered light rain. It's not a big deal right now. So that is certainly great. Again, if you were watching our noon show today, Tyler was tracking more substantial rain. I mean, it was never really heavy. We're not talking again about any flooding concerns, but it was the aerial coverage was basically border to border. It was beginning to taper, and we've continued to see that process take place in the last couple of hours. So this wave will be winding down. So just areas of light rain scattered about the state right now, and it is rain, liquid precip, because temperatures are in the upper 30s, if not even low 40s. So it's pretty mild out there with regard to wintry precip. So that's why we will stay rain at least for the next several hours. Broadening the view after a little bit of a lull, you can see more wet weather back across Ohio, moving through Pennsylvania. That's going to be heading in the direction of Connecticut. So what happens temperature-wise at the surface will dictate just how icy or just how wet our roads and sidewalks, parking lots will be. So the hour-by-hour trend will start you off at 8 o'clock this evening. We're still about 5 degrees above freezing. It is a slow drop-off. So even after midnight, 35, 34. So this is, I believe, for the Hartford area. But, in the northwestern, northeastern hill towns, that colder air will be coming a little bit sooner. So that's where we're most focused on the impacts from the freezing rain and sleet. So the concern here, again, is temperature-wise, if we can drop the lower third.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got it. We got to see. Mark has the graphics.
go.
He'll explain what's actually happening here.
Yeah, so right now we're that left-hand column where we are. What starts initially as snow high up in the atmosphere, hits warmer air and turns to rain, and that's what we're dealing with right now because temperatures are above freezing, upper 30s, low 40s. In that second column, we've got freezing rain. So we've got snow at the top. Falls into some warmer air, it melts, and then this is what we're concerned about later tonight: is temperatures dropping to 32, if not below. That rain does not have time to refreeze into sleet pellets, and it will freeze on contact. So that's what we call freezing rain. So in that third column, if the air at the surface is a little deeper, then what starts as snow goes to rain, would have time to refreeze before reaching the ground, and that's what pings and bounces around, kind of makes a little noise. So sleet would be better than freezing rain, just for traction purposes.
Yeah, because you don't want what we had. We don't want this. This is what happened on Wednesday morning. Yes,
Correct, yes.
yesterday morning. Yes. So we had a lot of that. You don't expect it to be this bad, but again, give people a first alert. This is why we're really, that turned into a big mess for all the people who were probably trying to get to work and school and didn't realize the risk of ice.
Yeah. So let's take it back 48 hours. So Tuesday afternoon, we had temperatures that were in the 25 to 30 degree range. So we were already at this point on Tuesday concerned about what was going to be happening Tuesday night into the Wednesday morning commute. And we had a first alert weather day for that. So by 11 o'clock in our newscast that night, Tuesday night, we were up to around 30, 32. So we were progressing a little bit in the upper direction, but we didn't go in far enough above freezing to lessen the impact to the Wednesday morning commute. So fast forward to now, we're not 25 to 30. We're like upper 30s, low 40s. So the setup is a little bit different compared to Tuesday night into early Wednesday. So
Yeah.
we're going to be
That's
looking.
good. We don't want
Yes.
we don't want to repeat, but we just do want to give you a warning that you might want to give yourself a little extra time.
Absolutely, yes. And by no means is the threat over. Like we've got our first alert weather day. We're going half hour early for you tomorrow morning to get you through this for any icing concerns. But this is now looking perhaps a little bit more concerning specifically for the hill towns of Northwest and Northeast Connecticut. Shoreline communities likely just staying wet and rainy. So as we take you throughout the state on our iCam tour here, again, it's a wet go of it on this Thursday afternoon. So you'll need the windshield wipers at times with these occasional showers moving through. The snow certainly eroding significantly there from Waterbury and looking skyward from Middletown. It's gray, it's damp. You can see the raindrops on the camera lens from our old Saybrook iCam. And again, First Alert Futurecast showing what's currently ongoing. And these are the spotty showers across the state. As we make our way into the evening commute, more rain begins to overspread the state, kind of like we were dealing with earlier. So nothing too problematic. But again, you'll need the windshield wipers. And then here's 8 o'clock tonight. Note the northwestern and northeastern hill towns, those shades of pink, that indicates where temperatures at the surface could be cold enough to support some sleet or some freezing rain. So that's what we're going to be watching very closely. And then the precip intensity looks to ramp up a bit as we head toward 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And then after midnight, it's winding down. But at the same time, those same areas, northwest and northeast Connecticut, you see those pinks indicating that icy mix that could lead to those slick conditions. So with regard to that potential icing, again, we're really focused on northwest and northeast Connecticut for communities up near the Massachusetts border.
Yeah. All right. So there is your first alert. And Mark, thank you. As
Yes.
Mark's getting ready to bring you all the updated forecasts starting on Eyewitness News at 4. And Great Day Connecticut will be coming up at 3. But in the meantime, we are going to send you back to our WFSB Plus programming because for those of you who are excited about all things UConn, we have the sports warm-up coming up. That'll be in just a couple minutes at 2:30. So we'll bring that to you right here, streaming always for free on WFSB Plus. It's a good time to remind you to download that First Alert Weather app. You'll always be able to get Mark's alerts right on your phone wherever you are.
Always on.
Always on. All right, everyone, have a great afternoon. We'll see you in just a moment. Stay tuned for the warm-up.